Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with JAYONBOXING here, giving you a personal prediction for Regis Prograis versus Devin Haney. And as always, this is just my take, of course. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. Would love to hear them all. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Regis Prograis taking on Devin Haney. This will be at the Chase Center in San Francisco, California, airing live on DAZN pay-per-view because you have to pay for DAZN just to pay for the pay-per-view, which is ridiculous, of course, in the junior welterweight division with Prograis' WBC junior welterweight title on the line. Well, the end of 2023 is definitely giving us some damn good fights, and this fight qualifies as just one of those for sure. While the odds might be a bit wide in my personal opinion, I'm heading into this one as though it's a pick'em fight because, to me, it should be considered as such. You have a once-beaten Prograis that's been at 140 pounds for his entire career, with Devin Haney moving up from 135 pounds to challenge in a new weight. Unbeaten, but still certainly moving up. You could argue Prograis didn't look great in his last fight, but both struggled with awkward opponents most recently. They've also looked dynamic in recent fights as well, so they certainly have a lot going into this fight that allows for you to think one or the other might have the potential advantage, in my opinion. Both have skills, with Haney likely a bit more polished, but Prograis certainly has a bit more natural pop to his punches. So it's certainly a great clash of styles as well. But what style prevails? Let's break this one down and find out. Starting with Prograis, for Prograis to win, you want to double up the jab. You have a little bit less reach here, by 3 or 4 inches at least, so you certainly need to double up that jab to try and close distance. It will help you step in while also offsetting some of what Haney is looking to do anyway, so doubling up the jab certainly makes a lot of sense. Haney will want to jab, and you might not end up winning the jabbing contest, no surprise here, but you just have to compete to at least give yourself enough of a chance to get inside and then really get some of the work done that you're looking to get done. If you can get it timed well, the double jab can even counter some of the jabs Haney is looking to throw. Again, you aren't likely to out-jab him, but you have to get it going to get through your own gears, and doubling it up gives you a better chance than just throwing singular jabs that ultimately Haney might be able to outdo you with. Double it up, close some of that distance, and then kind of work towards your more action fight that you're looking for in this contest. I would also argue, keep your head moving. Head movement will be key for Prograis. For starters, you can't let a sharp counterpuncher have a sitting target. You have to change your looks, otherwise Haney is too sharp, he will be attacking, and effectively. What's more, head movement is a sign of your rhythm fighter. If you're too upright, too still, too orthodox, your output usually is going to reflect that and not in the best way. Also, as mentioned, you will need to get the jab going. Throwing it offline and kind of giving it those odd angles as you maybe dip to either side might allow for you to get it home more effectively. What's more, you're already a southpaw, so if you can kind of give him another look with that head movement on top of the unique southpaw look, I think you have a better chance of perhaps catching him from those unique angles he might not be prepared for and having success in this fight. And finally, be busy inside. Once you use that jab and double that jab and use that head movement to get inside, you have to make it count. You can't just let Haney smother or hold or try to turn you, and if he counters you while you're trying to get inside, you can't let that discourage you. You have to get in there, but once you're there, you have to work. Once you're inside, you have to dig to the body. Push Haney straight back in a straight line so he's an easier target for you. You have to make him feel the new weight. Lean on him if necessary, but you have to bully him a bit more when you're inside. And most importantly, you have to throw bigger shots. Use that overhand left at times while you're stepping in and closing, and maybe something that kind of off the back of that double jab that he might not be expecting. Then finish off with those quicker shots once you're in close. If he's holding, fight with the free hand. Complain. Make it an issue. Regardless of how you have to do it, you have to negate that because you have to stay busy and get your best work done on the inside. Now, switching over to the challenger here, for Haney to win, you have to jab, jab, jab. Now that might seem obvious, but it's just that for a reason. You need to use that stick, and you need to do so consistently, early, and often. You need to use that jab to keep Prograis at bay. You need to set up your quick combinations, those kind of quick shots that you do in bursts before getting out of the way and resetting. You need to use it to bust Prograis up. It's going to have a multitude of uses for you in this fight if you get it going. You don't have tremendous power, but if you can beat him up with the jab, if you can blind him with it for those bigger shots that you throw behind it, you can generate enough hurt that it keeps Prograis honest, which is ultimately what you need to do in this fight. If he doesn't respect that power, he can potentially walk into a more action fight that he's looking for. So instead, use that jab to keep him at bay, bust him up, and just overall kind of control the pace and tempo of the contest. I would also say use that pullback counter. You can certainly step forward and even counter coming forward at times, and especially as the fight wears on and perhaps you're making Prograis hesitate a bit more, you'll certainly be able to come forward. But while getting to that point, countering from a more stepping back approach will be crucial. That pull counter is a great tool in just those moments to try to bridge that gap as well. Naturally, you're a counter, so it works when a fighter with shorter arms looks to fall in a bit more and he slips up, and you can kind of use that to take that step back and catch him with a return. But as that makes Prograis miss, then he pays for it. You can start feinting with it. You can start throwing it with a bit more power. Then you can start stepping in and doing more punishing work as you're coming forward. But I think it can start by using the jab and then ultimately setting up those pullback counters. And finally, settle Prograis down. And this will be most important because I think all of what your overall style in this fight needs to do ultimately has to be about whether or not you can settle Prograis down. Prograis, one would imagine, knows he isn't likely to be favored in a boxing match. He will want to trade, to land bigger blows, and to make it more of a war, some exchanges in there. You have to tame that fire ASAP. The jab will help with that, and of course, making him pay with those counters will do that as well. But you also need to turn him on the inside. Make Prograis' unorthodox footwork work against him. Also, tie him up. Hold him when needed. It's not pretty, but it works, and if Prograis isn't getting what he wants from you, then it's all that really matters in those moments. Regardless, you have to settle him down however you decide to do it, especially on the inside where he might get his best work done if you don't. Now, in terms of my pick here, while most will be favoring Haney for sure, I'm going with the upset in Prograis. It's the end of the year, why not? I think Haney can box well and will do so in spurts, but I think the underrated movement and power of Prograis will force a negative fight out of Haney once Prograis gets going and becomes more effective. Once Haney backs away and doesn't quite get into his groove, Prograis will continue to push forward, have more success winning an ugly and sometimes scrappy bout with rounds that might even be a bit hard to score at times. Prograis, I think with the shot inside during maybe a brief exchange or when Haney doesn't quite understand the angle from which Prograis is throwing it, might stun or even drop Haney. But I think that the American will have enough to kind of survive it and get through the rounds. Still, Prograis will close the show well enough and earn the nod. Winner, Regis Prograis via close, possibly split decision. And in terms of the betting odds here, I'm going to be dead wrong, of course, because you have Prograis coming in at a plus 300 underdog with Haney as a favorite at minus 450. I understand the odds to some degree. Haney's the younger fighter, seemingly fresher fighter. He's the more dynamic fighter in terms of just having polished, solid skills, great fundamentals in many ways. And Prograis has looked scrappy at times, has lost before, didn't look great in his most recent bout. So I understand it, but from my personal opinion, I just see something in Prograis having just enough to potentially trouble Haney, and I think the size and power differential might make itself known in this fight. Based on that, I do think that Prograis at a plus 300 is a decent set of odds in my personal opinion. I mean, certainly for a small to even mid-sized bet there. Of course, if you're a Haney supporter, you always have the 4.5 to 1, but really not looking at that kind of money line. It's just too much of a gamble, and especially in my opinion it is, because I just don't see him as that big of a favorite in my opinion. In terms of the over-under, have not been able to find one, but because Haney is the favorite and isn't a huge puncher, my guess is it's going to be at that 10.5 round mark, but again, that is just a guess. To be fair, I think no matter how this fight goes, I do see it being a decision, so the over makes a lot of sense there, but you're probably not going to get great odds. Of course, when I do find the over-under, I will post it in the comments section below and pin it, but in any event, those are your odds. And in terms of my prediction record, I'm at 39-12 with 24 exact on the year. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. And of course, be sure to check out all the social media here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And of course, be sure to visit JAYONBOXING.com for schedule, results, betting odds, rankings, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time.